Welcome back to the Clay King Show on Sirius XM Urban View, channel 126, where talk empowers and becomes action. We are LIVE live, the second hour, the second act, and we're currently live on the good YouTube. What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? If you're listening on Sirius XM, go to youtube.com/Clay King Show, youtube.com/Clay King Show to see me and my girl, Reecie Colbert. Reecie is the founder of Black Women Views. She is also the host of the Reecie Colbert Show that airs every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Urban View. And she is also the creator of the Am I Tripping game and the Sounds About Right game. Cop that game right now. Cop that game right now. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. My girl, Reecie Colbert. Reecie, what's up?
Hey, New York Times bestseller. How you doing?
Bestseller. Yes. Let's revive people, y'all. Bestseller. Gotta love it. If you haven't gotten the book, pick up the book now. Instant. USA Today, Publishers Weekly, the whole bit. Very, very excited. Listen, if you are a new subscriber to the Clay King Show, to my channel, I have a radio show on Sirius XM Urban View, channel 126. We air every day from 12 to 3. And we more or less go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays with Reecie Colbert at 1 p.m. So Urban View is 24-hour programming of Black political talk, about liberation talk. We're very grateful for the platform. And the reason why I am a 2-time New York Times bestseller is because of the Urban View platform. So yeah, if you're new, welcome. We love to have y'all. Welcome to the fam. And if you're new to Reecie Colbert, Reecie, if folks are new to you and they just subscribed just recently, tell folks about you.
Well, my show, the Reecie Colbert Show, comes on Saturdays on Sirius XM Urban View. It is like the cookout. We do politics, culture, all the things. It's me and my girl, Erica Savage, founder of the Reframe Brand podcast, the wellness community. And so call in, give me a piece of your mind. And it's fun. We keep it, I mean, it's not necessarily light because that's not the era that we're in, but it's not just a repeat of the Monday through Friday shows because we have brilliant hosts that cover so much. So, if you want a little Black Girl Magic on a Saturday afternoon, come check me out.
I love it. All right, let's do some topics. Bad Bunny.
I have not. You look like Bad Bunny. Where, honey?
Do I look like Bad Bunny? I don't think I look like Bad Bunny.
You look Puerto Rican.
I don't think I look like Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's handsome though. I'm here.
He is. Well, he done glowed up, honey. When he went to the curly hair and the facial hair, that was A+. Mm-hmm.
I could try and get my little curl like Bad Bunny. I don't know. I could try. Bad Bunny. They mad at Bad Bunny. Why does he go by Bad Bunny, by the way? I have no idea. I'm going to be honest with you.
Benito. I know his name is Benito.
I don't know Benito's music like that. I don't know his music like that. All I know, whenever I've seen him, whenever I've heard about him, it's always been joy and fun. That's what I always know. It's always been joy, fun, and he's about love and happiness and freedom. Always seemed to be a really, really just a joyful artist, right? So we talked about it a bit yesterday, but people are still having a neurological breakdown over this. They're flipping out.
Yeah,
they're unhinged. And I was thinking this recently. There's something going on, I guess, when people feel like we have this iconic American halftime show, and I guess it gets too black or brown for you. Remember the outrage over Beyonce, the way she performed Formation, and how folks were mad about that. There was that whole SNL skit that folks realized that Beyonce was black, all this kind of stuff. I mean, there is this rage. Kendrick Lamar last year, they didn't like what he did, and they didn't see enough white people. I mean, and if that ain't you, don't be offended. A hit dog will holler. So if you ain't hollering, then you ain't offended. But there is this theme of, I guess, when people see a little bit too much of what they perceive to not be Americana apple pie enough, that you're suddenly offended and having rage over it. And the talk of, well, he's singing in Spanish and this whole idea. I was saying this earlier, Reecie. It ain't about him singing a different language. It's about the way that he looks. If Pavarotti would have been up there for the Super Bowl halftime show, may he rest doing his opera thing, they would have been good with this, singing in Italian.
True.
We've had plenty of people who aren't Americans at the halftime show.
Mm.
Coldplay.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the dude's name from Coldplay? I don't know.
Chris Martin.
Yeah, and I don't think he's American, or he wasn't born in America.
No, they're not American.
Rolling, yeah, the Rolling Stones. I don't think Mick Jagger's American at this point. We've had plenty of non-Americans perform. This guy is American. And if you don't have no rhythm and you can't catch a beat, we know what he has going on. That's on you. I didn't know a word he was saying, but I enjoyed it. But I want you to hear Miss Megyn Kelly really just going through it. She's can't even contain herself. I mean, she is having a moment in her life. In her, I mean, she's more outraged about this over Renee Nicole Good. I mean, the outrage you have over this around somebody being, you would think somebody got shot 3 times or somebody got shot 9 times on the street. You would think it's that. Oh no, it's just a Latin artist performing and singing some songs in Spanish that are #1 hits, that are Grammy-winning hits. Like I said yesterday, ain't like they pulled Maria Lopez from around the way on 181st Street in the Heights and said, go up there and perform because you're a DEI hire, whatever bullshit they think. This guy is one of the biggest selling artists in the world. It would only make sense for the halftime show to have him up there. He is a legitimate best-selling artist that millions of people love.
Yeah.
But Megyn, girl, listen to Megyn go. Listen to Megyn having a fit. Listen to it.
I'm sorry, Piers, but to get up there and perform the whole show in Spanish is a middle finger to the rest of America. Who gives a damn that we have 40 million Spanish speakers in the United States? We have 310 million who don't speak a lick of Spanish. This is supposed to be a unifying event for the country, not for the Latinos, not for one small group, but for the country. We don't need a Black national anthem. We don't need a Spanish-speaking, non-English performer, and we don't need an ICE or America hater featured as our primetime entertainment.
Okay, what is the national language, officially the national language of the United States of America?
I mean, English. And there's been a push for many years to make it an official,
you don't have one
documented thing.
You don't have one.
Turn it off. Megyn, that was so because you're the majority. Because there's a segment that's the minority, you are outraged over that. You're still the majority. 95% of the shows on television, they are in English. This is the weird space that we're in, that when you see something different, you feel threatened. You feel like they're all taking over. They're all moving into my neighborhood. Why are all these people on television? It's very old. It's very some of the narratives you would hear around Jim Crow. Look what they're doing. Why is Nat King Cole on TV? They're taking over. Most of Americans don't look like him. I mean, it's the history rhymes. It's rhyming. And if you are more outraged over Bad Bunny, a pop star, than you are over children being stopped by ICE, and there was that beautiful moment where he gave his Grammy to one of the kids who were, traumatized and hurt by ICE. You're more upset about a message of love and unity. Some folks complain there were no white folks on the stage. First of all, there are white Latinos. Latino isn't a race. Puerto Rican is not a race. Puerto Rico is part of America. It's an American territory. And last time I checked, Lady Gaga is a full white woman.
She's Italian.
She's Italian, so maybe that's not
right. Like, is she Puerto Rican? I said, no, she's Italian. She's no parts Puerto Rican.
And she was born in New York. She is a full Italian white woman.
She didn't even have bronzer on. She was white.
She had blonde hair. She had blonde. I mean, really. But Bad Bunny got MAGA so upset. A hit bunny is hollering. You hollering. You mad. You mad because you saw all that. I have sat through Coldplay, the Rolling Stones, Aerosmith, all those people. That was a diverse experience of America.
Mm-hmm.
Diverse experience of America. So I just think they're going through it. They're going through it. And then it's like, this is the narrative they roll with, because this is now Bad Bunny is one of the they thems. You know, now he's a they. Now look what they're doing to our Super Bowl show. Look what they're doing. You better get out and vote, because look how they're trying to take over. It's not surprising, but it's where we are. Congrats to Bad Bunny. You killed it. I don't know a lick of Spanish. I could barely say sí. I don't know any Spanish. And it was a good time. It was fun. Folks were getting married. It was about family. It was about kids. It was family friendly. It was fun and joyful. And I would put it in the top 5. So go ahead, Reecie. What you think?
Well, I enjoyed it. I don't know, like, literally any of his music at all. Like, I never heard hardly any of those songs. But I'm an R&B girl. Look, I listen to Bobby Brown, Babyface. You know, that's my genre. So just because I don't know it don't mean nothing. But first of all, how the Black National Anthem get in there? You see how she had to bring the blacks in there? Was Spanish.
Didn't they do it? They did it earlier, right? They didn't even do it.
Yeah, they did it before
the national anthem.
It wasn't like the Black National Anthem and then the national anthem. That's always make sure that y'all remember that these motherfuckers that don't like Latinos and immigrants don't like black motherfuckers either. Okay, just be very, very clear about that. When you give a permission to anti-immigrant, even though Puerto Ricans are not immigrants, they're American citizens.
Right.
But when you give a permission slip to these MAGA motherfuckers, you're giving a permission slip to anti-blackness, because she could not resist throwing the Black National Anthem in there. Okay. But you know what? I very much love the idea that this performance was a big fuck you to MAGA. And I love it that they received it that way. Whether he meant it that way or not, I love that that was the impact. Because here's a newsflash, MAGA. White is not the default. I know that's what you have been tricked into believing, that you're the standard, that you're the default, and that we are all supposed to assimilate and kowtow and bow down and shrink for your comfort. But fuck you. No, the hell we not. So I appreciate them getting that message. Their anger is like food for my soul, because why should they be comfortable? Why should they be unchallenged in their racism, in their delusional notion that the world spins on their white ass existence? And it doesn't. Okay. It does not. They're not the default. They aren't even the standard that we hold ourselves to. Those of us who got some goddamn sense. So yes, it was a fuck you. How about that? It was a fuck you. Okay, now what? Fuck you, go to hell. Let me add that part.
And I want to also say, so there's Megyn Kelly. And then there's Chris Brown. Now, Chris Brown, I don't know. I hope you ain't one step away from, I don't know what you're doing, Chris, but he went on social media after the Bad Bunny performance and he wrote, "I think it's safe to say they need me," with an emoji mark. Brother, man, like, why are you appear to be hating on another performer? I can recall when he got mad that he lost a Grammy up against, was it Robert Glasper?
Robert Glasper. I was gonna say that.
Yeah. Just really unnecessary, not what we need in this moment. And I know a lot of people like Chris Brown. I can't say I know his music that well. I know Loyal, that's about it. Folks say he's a great performer and all that good stuff. I'm sure he is and everything. But for you to say that they need you, I just thought it was really unnecessary to shade another artist like that, who's having a really incredible moment in their career, when he's also getting so much hate from people who are clearly dislike him because he's Puerto Rican. I don't know what your politics are, Chris. Yeah, I
He
don't
probably
know.
would say, I don't do politics. I don't do the political.
He probably is one of those I don't do politics.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, probably is like, yeah, I don't do it. Yeah, your vote ain't loyal. I don't know. But that was just. Why would you add to that? Why would you add to that seeing another artist being attacked like that? And Bad Bunny's taking the high road, obviously. Why would you add to that and make it about you?
Because
Maybe
he's a messy bitch that loves drama. That's why. That's what I mean. Chris Brown is not a cultured person. He's not a person of any sophistication. He, like you already pointed out, he was mad that Robert Glasper, who is a multiple Grammy award winning, a very decorated artist, won a Grammy over him. He has a sense of entitlement. He's also delusional, and he is not a person that has taken the great wealth and fame and privilege that he's been afforded of being so famous and being able to travel the world and use that as an opportunity to enrich himself and to take in other cultures and to have that kind of knowledge influence a better product, a more well-rounded product, or even make him a more well-rounded person. So I really would not expect anything else from him. I think he's competitive, entitled, and he's messy. So the timing of it, you don't ever want to be on the same side as MAGA and all the racists, but
right.
I think that it comes from his lack of culture and his lack of sophistication. That's what I think it came from. Because, like I said, he was the one bitching when Robert Glasper got a Grammy, and he bitches when he don't get called for this tribute or he hasn't gotten this award. So he's just one of those people that just feels like he's underrated, and he's not getting his just due. But you know what? It wasn't your time, okay? And it might not ever be your time, and that's okay, because there are a lot of really talented people out there. And I think Bad Bunny did what he did. It's not going to be for everybody. Every show ain't for everybody. I don't buy tickets to every concert that comes into town. I buy concert tickets to the ones that I fucking want to go to. So it's okay if not everything is for you. And that's what I think, that the internet is deluding people into thinking that everything that comes in front of their faces is supposed to be tailor-made for them. And it's not. Everything is not for your benefit. There are people that I've never heard of. They sell tens of millions of records. They have stadium tours. I don't know them, but that's not for me. And that's the thing that people do. They cannot grasp that concept.
Taylor Swift ain't for me. She doing her thing. I don't have an issue with her. That's just not for me. I can't. But I mean, not everything is going to be for me. That's not the world that we live in. I would not want that to be the world that we live in, or be all Patti LaBelle and Babyface and some blues music if it was me. You know what I mean?
For real. Look. Well, you know what I mean. It would be totally different. But I mean, I feel like, why can't we live in a world where you're like, I didn't know none of that stuff, but let me see what it's about. Let me go check them out. Oh, okay. Somebody's involved, but let me see. It's like if you see a movie is nominated for an Oscar, you're like, oh, okay, well, let me check that out. Why are they nominated for an Oscar? Or NAACP Image Award? Oh, let me check that out. Like, whatever happened to curiosity, whatever happened to trying to experience new artists, new cultures, new books. They got Audibles. If you don't want to pick up a book and read, Burn Down Massive House, available on Audible. Whatever happened to any kind of thirst for new experiences? And this algorithm shit is just further shrinking people into this myopic world where nothing is supposed to exist outside of it. And if it filters into your algorithm, if it filters onto your screen, you offended. That's fucking embarrassing. People should be embarrassed at how much they lack curiosity, at how unsophisticated and how uncultured they are. So a lot of this stuff is really more of an indictment on them. I wasn't shaking my ass and up doing cartwheels and shit at Bad Bunny's music because I didn't know his music. So it wasn't, wasn't for me. I wasn't like bitty bitty bamba, like I wasn't doing that. But I was like, you know
Selena?
what?
That's Selena?
Yeah.
Bitty bitty bamba.
Bitty bitty bamba. I know she not Puerto Rican, but that's the joke. Anywho, but it wasn't. I like when Kendrick was on, I was elbows up, I was crib walking. I was okay, that was last year. This is the new year, and I can salsa bachata, whatever. But at the end of the day, that's okay because I might go in now, try to find some. Let me see what Bad Bunny is talking about. I do like him as an actor, though. I saw him in a movie recently called Still. I was like, okay, Bad Bunny could act a little bit. It's okay. That not everything is not for you. That is okay. That goes for white people, black people, Latino people, everybody. Everything is not for you. Everything that people say is not going to be for you. Everything people sing, act, whatever is not going to be for you. Be okay with that, please, for your own benefit.
And that's the beauty about art, that hopefully you're open-minded to receive something that has nothing to do with you. That's the
Right.
beauty about it. There are artists that I like that you would think I would have no connection to them, but I feel it. And I really
Mhm.
did feel Bad Bunny. I was like, oh, this is really, and I love the imagery,
Yeah, the
uh,
imagery was
the
beautiful.
grid in Puerto Rico, how they have a really terrible power grid. I love the imagery of people getting married, of giving each
Mm.
kid, like I said before. I love Lady Gaga, by the way. I've seen Lady Gaga in concert 3 times. That
Oh,
girl
really?
can sing. Yeah, she's really good. She could sing. I saw her early on in her career. She could play piano. I thought it was cool seeing
I like
Gaga.
Lady
I
Gaga
also,
too.
yeah, she cool people. I also like that she wasn't like in quote unquote Latin drag. She was just being herself, right?
She was Cinderella out there, honey. With that blue.
Exactly. She didn't do no Gwen Stefani dressed like
Yeah.
Chicano, whatever. They think, I know Chicano Mexican's different than Puerto Rican, but I'm just saying they sometimes go in their little Latin Hispanic
She
drag.
wasn't appropriating. She wasn't culturally
Exactly. So it was just her being Gaga, and Gaga can sing. So I'm here for it,
I
and
like that.
it just shows exactly who you are. And even if he wasn't singing in Spanish, they still would have had an issue with it. Go back to the reaction over Beyonce doing Formation, because they felt like she was dressed like one of the Black Panthers.
Oh, they said she was anti-cop and all kind of shit. Yeah,
I mean,
they lost their mind about that. So
it is what it is. So it doesn't surprise me, but people, you hit dog is hollering, you stay hollering, get over it, and blah 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 blah
I
blah.
love it. Oh man, every bit of tears and convulsions. It's just like, oh yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Because y'all too comfortable. Y'all too comfortable feeling like y'all superior when you're not. You're too comfortable feeling like should nobody get to have nothing if it ain't stamped by y'all, which ain't the case either. So yeah, I'm very excited that it triggered people. I'm very very excited, and I'm glad because I know he knew that was gonna piss people off because he probably could have did. He could have he had a song with Cardi B. Cardi B song is in English, and then I think his verse is in Spanish. He could have brought her out there. He could have done some pop stuff that we all know, but he was like, I'm gonna do the shit my people know. I'm gonna go and put on for my culture. And I love that. I love that. And even though it wasn't for me, like it wasn't my judge, I'm not even gonna lie. Everybody else was out there, and then maybe it was for them. For me, it wasn't my judge, but I appreciated him having the platform, and I especially appreciate how it's triggering all these motherfuckers. That to me is great.
I love it. One other thing I want to get to. Andy Beshear, governor of Kentucky, correct? He was on The View yesterday, and he said something really interesting that I know a lot of people liked. I saw it a little bit differently. And as we talk about strategy, and we're coming on the midterms and what Democrats are going to try and do, what they're not going to try and do, I want you to listen to a little bit of what Governor Beshear said on The View yesterday. Check this out.
First, while I'll stand up for all my convictions, while I'll always stand up against discrimination or attacks on the people of Kentucky, I spend 80% of my time on things that matter to 100% of the people of Kentucky or the United States. Things like good jobs, accessible health care, safe roads and bridges, safe communities, making sure that what I do every day makes life better for Democrats, Republicans, independents, just everyone. The second thing I try to do is talk like a normal human being. We've allowed advocacy speak, which was created for the right reasons, but I don't think you change stigma by changing words. I think you change it by changing hearts. Yeah. And so, in my state, we've lost a lot of people to overdoses, but no one's ever said they lost a loved one to substance use disorder. Yeah. They say addiction. Yeah. When we talk about the big ugly bill and the cuts that it makes to SNAP, that's about hunger, not food insecurity. Or there's a new one, and it's justice-involved population. Yeah. And we have more second chance opportunities in Kentucky. We believe that makes us safer in the long run, but our inmates call themselves inmates.
Yeah.
So let me say this. I don't know who you have on your team, Governor Beshear. I don't know who's giving you the talking points, but bro, you fucking up already. First of all, I've never heard of justice-involved population.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. See, and the idea of advocacy speak, that if you talk like a regular person, when he did sound very scripted to me, that didn't sound very regular to me at all.
Oh,
You
he
sound
had his
very,
little
very
read, honey. Mhm.
Yeah. You didn't sound regular. It sounds like that someone gave you the talking points because you're trying to avoid sounding quote unquote woke. You're trying to
Gavin Newsom
avoid
team. Mhm.
you're trying to avoid having a they them ad being put against, right? What Democrats got to figure out is not how to talk in a way that some folks might think is responsible or anything like that. It's how are you going to combat the hate and the otherism politics? How are you going to do that? I never heard Kamala Harris say, or Joe Biden, justice involved populations. I never heard her say that. Some of these other things I didn't hear them say. But even if they did, if you think that's the way to get through people and all you're going to do is talking about changing hearts and affordability, you sound like any other plain Jane Democrat. That's that you're trying to go the 1990s Bill Clinton way. You're trying to go that way because you want to get a certain population. Because what are they saying here? Advocacy speak. What's the listen with your third ear? There's certain voters they want to get. They want to get the imaginary crossover voter. They want to get the majority white voter that has not voted Democrat since the 1964 presidential election. That's what they're trying to say because they believe they are turning people off by talking this whole kind of way. And I'm saying make it plain, but you ain't making it plain. You ain't making it plain at all. If you think the issue with Democrats is that they've done too much advocacy speech or advocacy speak, then you're missing the point. You're missing the point. So I thought it was an interesting way on how he's going to do things differently. Because you always point this out. Kamala Harris didn't lean into identity politics
No.
at all. She avoided all that.
She sure did, honey.
She avoided all of that.
She didn't even say I'm a black woman. She did not even say I'm a black woman. She didn't even say
lean into advocacy speak. Y'all still think that's what, because the thing is the GOP tells you what you're doing wrong and you believe them because they go on hate speech.
Well,
and y'all fall for it. So I thought it was a miss, and I just thought it was a weird thing. And I think we're going to hear a lot of this now. We hear people like Rahm Emanuel talk about woke this and woke that. Like, y'all are missing the point. Y'all take bait from the Republican Party. They mangle words. They mangle all these things. They remix it, villainize it, and then you try to clean it up after they villainized it for us. If that ain't your natural language, then you shouldn't say food insecurity. If that isn't what you naturally say, that's fine. But the intentional, I speak regular, so I'll just say you're poor as fuck. I don't even know what that means when he's saying that. Like, how are you going to make it plain, Governor Beshear? Okay, good luck. Go ahead, Reecie.
I want us, though, to stop saying that they're adopting Republican talking points. This is how a lot of white Democrats genuinely feel.
Well, that's true. You're right. That's true.
They sisters and brethren, meemaws and peepaws. Right. They sitting at the same dinner tables, having these same motherfucking conversations. The only difference is one of them goes in the ballot box and they vote for Medicare for all or free pre-K for fucking 4-year-olds, and Obamacare. And the other motherfuckers go and they vote for build a wall and mass deportation now. But they sitting at the same tables, having these same conversations. Not all, if it don't apply, let it fly. What we're seeing from a lot of these white Democrats, white adjacent, white identifying, white assimilating, because you ain't got to be white to be those things, is how they really feel. Donald Trump did not just give Republicans and MAGA a permission slip to let the hoods off and show their whole ass. They gave white Democrats a permission slip too. Because the second that Kamala Harris ass lost, all the hoods came off, all the slips came off. We got to get the whites. We got to get the whites. Fuck the blacks, the woke, the advocacy. These dog whistles. This is their coded language to each other. And then they gaslight us and we be like, that's racist. That's what it is. They think we're too fucking stupid to see them speaking in code to each other. When they say advocacy speak, they're saying black. When they say woke, they say black. But they can't say, oh, we done with you. Huh?
Am I losing connection? Stephanie, are we okay?
Oh, am I breaking up?
Reecie, I think you're frozen.
No, you can't hear
Reese's
me.
good too?
Well, am I good? Because I was cooking.
So you were cooking. Oh, everything okay?
All right, my bad.
Am I freezing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh.
Okay, the comments say we good, Clay. Okay.
But you look like you're frozen.
Am I frozen?
Are you frozen, Reece?
Can y'all see me waving?
Okay, well keep going. Okay.
Okay, Jen. I was cooking too
much.
You had me lose my train of thought, Clay. But anyway, what I was saying, long story long, okay, is that white Democrats, not all, don't apply, let it fly, have taken the permission slip that Donald Trump gave Republicans and given it to themselves to say that we done with the blacks. If you look at the coverage of this Texas Senate race, you got the whites circling the wagons around James Tallarico. James Tallarico is less qualified than Jasmine Crockett. James Tallarico is losing to Jasmine Crockett in the pollings, most of them. And he's also losing in the polling to the right Republicans. But all the racism towards Jasmine Crockett and then the responses to that become identity politics. It's because they want us to stay in our black ass places. They want us to be in the back of the bus. This is not a new phenomenon. I was screaming this shit in 2019, 2020. And what they're trying to do in speaking in this code is to normalize the idea that black people demanding because y'all not gonna fucking give it to us. We know that. We cannot depend on white benevolence for our humanity, for our advancement. We know that. We have to demand it. So what they're trying to say is that our demanding it is the problem, and not the fact that we have to demand it, not the fact that we are discriminated against, that we're shitted on. That's not the problem. It's the problem that we demanded. It's the problem that we put our foot on motherfucking necks. And so what I'm going to be doing constantly is I'm going to be putting belt to ass to people like Andy Bashir, because you're not fucking allies to our community. When you get out there and you speak in your little white code and you say a euphemism for black. Not a lot of people say justice involved, population. What the fuck is wrong with food insecurity? You can say hungry, you can say food. What the fuck is wrong with that? Not a lot of people say birthing persons or whatever else. This is what they fucking do though. They take a slither of what people are doing and they try to make it seem like it's a big fucking problem when it's not. But it's not that it is a big problem. It's them signaling, hey, I'm your guy. I'm your guy because I'm not going to cater to the blacks. I'm not going to cater to the LGBTQ or whatever the fuck, the they thems. That's what they're really trying to signal. And then they're going to gaslight. Oh no, identity politics. When you call them out on that shit, it's identity politics. But wasn't that identity politics what he was just doing? All that shit, wasn't that identity politics? That was identity politics.
Yeah.
But when we call them out, it's identity politics. But I don't give a fuck. Just the same way that Bad Bunny's performance was a fuck you, it ain't for you, and I ain't trying to cater to you. You're gonna see it. And maybe you enjoy it, maybe you don't, but I'm still gonna do things my way. That's what our obligation is, and I will be the one to carry the fucking flag. Okay? Because what you white boys not gonna do, not all, but whoever this applies to, is you're not gonna sit up here and gaslight and act like all the shit that you do, your microaggressions, are something we're making up in our fucking head. Short of posting a fucking ape video, y'all don't see no racism. And then how long did it take for them to pivot and normalize that? Oh, it was an accident. Oh, people are overreacting to the ape video. It didn't take them no fucking time. I'm belt to ass on every one of you motherfuckers. And if you're writing posts and op-eds now about how the blacks is going to be a problem, identity politics is going to be a problem, you damn motherfucking right it's going to be a problem. Get your shit together. If you get your shit together, you ain't got no fucking problems. But when you try to make us the fucking example, the sister soldier, then we got a problem. We're not doing that. And that's why y'all motherfucking white tickets keep losing, for the record, because y'all keep trying the same shit and it don't fucking work. And Here's my hot take. If Kamala had ran a more black ass campaign, she might be president. Running these campaigns to try to appeal to and not offend and try to bring over this so-called disaffected Republican and all this other shit, and we're gonna minimize the black, and we're gonna make sure we talk down about the blacks and talk about, and we're gonna make it lily white as fucking possible and as non-friendly as possible. That shit does not work. Joe Biden ran, to be honest, a black ass campaign when it came down to it. He said, I'm putting the black one on the ticket. We're gonna go all in on this George Floyd and racial reckoning shit and all. So you trying to do this white light campaign, and it does not fucking work, and it hasn't worked since Bill Clinton.
You know, Reecie, it's such a good point. You kind of took the words right out of my mouth. The victor, the person who can win, God willing, we have serious elections in 2028 or in 2026. It is going to be the people who know how to fight back.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I know for sure. It's not going to be the weak ass regular politician. I don't in any way, shape, or form like Trump at all. But you got to fight the fire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got to find a way to, like I've always said, combat the Southern Strategy 2.0 messaging. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it. So this whole playing nice and all that kind of stuff. That's why I really think that Jasmine Crockett has a serious shot, because we haven't really seen a candidate like her with that kind of fire and passion and that kind of unapologetic ideas and how we're going to center on and helping people versus apologizing. Andy Bashir is the kind of person that if he says one thing wrong, he'll issue an apology in a statement. The other side apologizes for nothing. We need somebody who's going to stand in it, unapologetically stand in it. I mean, Trump's team, Trump posted a racist meme of the president of the United States and the former first lady, didn't apologize for it. So what I know for sure, I feel like in this moment, never. People want a fighter. They want, and you say, I'm just going to speak plain and talk about affordability and change people's hearts, and I won't talk advocacy speak. Nah, people want a fighter. People want to see what you can do. You don't want to feel like you're the only one fighting. So that's going to be, I think, the next step. And somebody put in the chat, he doesn't want to sound like Gavin Newsom and Pete Buttigieg. Have you heard Gavin Newsom and Pete Buttigieg recently? What they're saying? They're sounding just like Andy Bashir.
They got the same white ass consultants. Are you kidding me? They all running the same white playbook.
And one of the things that amazing journalist Eva McKen said to me during the presidential election, she said, Democrats are always reacting to Republicans. They appear to never just have their own singular strategy. Republicans don't change their strategy. They're being told they're racist. They're being told they're white nationalists. They're being told they're cruel and mean. They're being talked about with the Epstein files, and they just keep on doing what they do. They don't change it. We, on the other hand, always shifting, always changing. One person loses. We can never have a black woman run again. All this kind of bullshit. We're always reacting to a loss versus ever celebrating our wins. So, yeah, I mean, advocacy speaking, I know it's different, but
Mondani, no, that's a motherfucking dog whistle. Advocacy speak is a dog whistle.
No, I'm saying New York City.
Oh, New York City.
I'm saying New York City. Mondani won, and I would never, folks would have never thought a Muslim dude would become mayor of New York City. He spoke advocacy speak and won. I know it's different than a presidential election. I understand that. But you got to bring people out. And you got to look at winning campaigns, not milquetoast campaigns that didn't do anything. And that sounds very, very milquetoast. So
but can I just say that I don't think that Democrats necessarily really run all that nice, because I don't think that gaslighting, microaggressions, throwing black people under the bus is nice. You know, it might be nice to white people that appeals to, but I don't think that it's nice. I don't think that how they're acting towards Jasmine Crockett is nice. I don't think how they're acting towards those of us who point out the misogynoir and the racism is nice. It's not nice. Democrats actually aren't as nice as they like to portray themselves to be. So you not only not nice, but then you a weak ass punk ass bitch on the other side too. That's a crazy ass combination. Okay. And not all, but
Right.
my whole thing is I'm really, really, really disgusted with the state of a lot of what I'm saying. I won't say the whole party, but I'm saying that nothing is going to reveal who this country is, who these parties are, and who the people that are in this so-called big tent are than a Black woman being on the ticket or a Black woman having the audacity to run for something that people have in their delusional mind thought is entitled to go to a white man. And so I can't ignore what I'm seeing and say that, oh, Democrats, and I'm not saying that you're ignoring it. I'm just saying that for me, I don't think that is actually all that nice. I don't think they're throwing Black people under the bus is nice.
Well, I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
They're being nice to the wrong people.
To the wrong. That's where we agree on.
weaklings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They don't fight back. Explicit things will happen, and they just go above it, and they just say, "Oh, well, we're not gonna address that because it didn't test well with our consultants, right?" So it's that they don't know how to go hard with the right group. They just kind of cave in and apologize, and I shouldn't have said that. Yet hurting their own base, not making the choir sing. So I definitely hear you on that. Let's head to a break. Reecie, you want to stay on and talk to the folks?
Yeah, I'll stay on.
Is Reecie? Okay, all right, let's head to a break. Clay Kane Show, be right back.
You're listening to The Clay Kane Show.
Hey, y'all. Ebony, it was good to see you. Ebony Noel. Hey, everybody who was there on Saturday that I got to see and take pictures with and give hugs. Let's see. Are we coming to LA? We're gonna I'm gonna drag Clay to LA for Beyond the Mic. I promise you that. Okay. Hey, Nanette. Let's see. Let me see. Kentucky for 15 years. Andy, I'm not saying that Andy is a bad guy. Okay. I can drag somebody and not necessarily condemn them, but what Andy Bashir is absolutely trafficking in is these white dog whistles that these Democrats have to try to signal that they're not one of those Democrats that's on the side of the Blacks. And you're not gonna play in my fucking face. If you can dog whistle, but I'm gonna turn your dog whistle into a motherfucking bullhorn. So if he can drop some of that shit, then I won't be on his ass. But every time that comes into my view, I'm on your ass. Because y'all not gonna keep playing in our fucking face. We got a virulently racist president, and then I guess people think that everything else is mild in comparison. There's no such thing as mild racism. There's not. Not on my watch. If he runs, I think Westmore is the nominee. I think Westmore is very formidable, and he has the benefit of not polling very high right now. And usually people polling right now, you don't want to be so high up that you got a lot of daggers coming at you this early. Okay, bye y'all.